Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning, Tuesday the 14th of October. There is only 5 days, 2 hours and 59 minutes at this exact moment until Celtic kick off their game away to Dundee. Yeah. That'll be an interesting game. It does see us start back with a run of games that will see Celtic, well, how can we say, could determine how successful Brendan Rodgers' tenure at Celtic this year will be, because it is an important time of year due to the fact that we are in a semi-final at the beginning of November. Now, an interesting time change of some of the games. And do Celtic or the TV even worry about fans? Do they think about fans going to the game? Are fans that go to the games just an afterthought? The first game I want to talk about is obviously Easter Road on a Sunday. It's always on a Sunday, Easter Road, isn't it? It means that you can't get to the pub before it. The walk of trying to get over that little bridge. I mean, you would think that in this day and age, they would have thought of a better way to try and herd thousands of Celtic fans to one end of the stadium. But in Edinburgh, just nothing changes quick, does it? The fact that the Celtic fans do have to walk over that bridge to get to and from the stadium, I've always said it's a safety hazard just waiting, isn't it? And the next game I want to talk about is a Wednesday at Tannadice. That's not too bad. I mean, it's only changed 15 minutes on the Wednesday evening from a 7:45 to kick off to an 8 o'clock kick off, which you're thinking is okay. But the big one we all need to talk about, and who ever thought that this would be a good idea? Celtic play St Mirren and Paisley at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. Saturday night's going to be alright. It's going to be right. It's going to be alright now, baby. Well, that's Saturday night. And I mean, it's going to be it's a good game. St Mirren always puts up a good fight. But come on, a Saturday night at 8 o'clock? It's madness, isn't it? It's just, do they even think? Do the powers that be? I mean, what must Celtic power brokers think? Oh, there's Sky's on the phone. They want to change the time. No bother. What time till? Send us an email. Do you think it goes along the lines of send us an email? And they go, yeah, they want us to play in Paisley 8 o'clock. I suppose if you're not doing nothing with the missus on a Saturday night, it's fine, isn't it? But I mean, I'm a kind of a traditionalist on a Saturday. I think that all football should just be 3 o'clock on a Saturday. Do you know, if you want to have games on TV, they need to get rid of this nonsense that this is a thing that comes from the 1980s. They didn't want, in the 1990s, sorry, when Sky sort of came into the game and started saying, look, we want to put games on TV. And the old fuddy-duddies went, whoa, wait a minute, you can't show any live TV on a 3 o'clock on a Saturday. It will take fans away from the game. I think now they should just get all football back to 3 o'clock on a Saturday. And whatever games want to be televised, they televise them. It makes no impact whatsoever. Because the majority of fans, let's face it, I mean, it's generally only fans of the team that watch the game. Do you know, you don't, apart from when it's Sevco and they're getting beat, everyone switches on the last 10 minutes. But I just think it's absolutely ridiculous in 2025 that Celtic fans are having to travel from far and wide to travel to a game that kicks off at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. It's just bonkers. It's asking for trouble. You know, they have the Hibs game on a 12 o'clock so nobody can get a drink. And then they think, fuck, it's only Paisley. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I mean, there is. We all know it's for television. I mean, you could say that the Wednesday night one, right, okay, that's not changing much. But when you look at, I mean, why is the Easter Road one a 12 o'clock kickoff? Because Police Scotland don't want anybody getting into the boozers beforehand. Right. Okay. On the same breath, you're wanting a kick-off at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night when the majority of folk have probably been in the boozer most of the day. Do you know, you get buses trying to get to the other side of Glasgow for 6:30 on a Saturday evening. That's just madness. Do you know, Paisley is rough on a Saturday night. Trust me, I'm fair there. Says one of the comments. I bet it's rough on a Saturday night. It's utter madness. I don't get it. If they want to say, like, we're going to not play football at certain times because of alcohol, and then to have one on a Saturday night. Anyway, we move on from that. It was great to see Alistair Johnson back training for Celtic yesterday after him putting up pictures of him playing golf and as such, and then Celtic put out the "Guess who's back again, AJ's back, tell a friend." Yep, AJ is back, and that was a bit of good news. So how many people? I think that everyone today everyone today in the boozer from 12 p.m. You wouldn't meet. I wouldn't make the game. If I was to go to the pub at 12 o'clock on a Saturday, I'm not making the game at 8 o'clock. Not a chance. You'd have to have some. You'd have to have some amount of marching powder to keep you in contention for the game at 8 o'clock. Something that I don't do. But anyway, Phelan Park is good for a laugh. Morning, Lindsay. But anyway, yeah, today's game. I think that we'll all be looking at the game today, which is Japan versus Brazil in Tokyo. It's a 7:30 kickoff at night for them. It's around about, I think is it 11:30 or something, or 2:30. I'm not too sure of the time it is here, but we'll all be looking to see whether this man, yes, where is he? Dyson. Yeah, whether Dyson will start the game today. And is he fit? Because there's been a lot of talk about him maybe not being fit and carrying an injury. And if he is carrying an injury, he obviously won't be playing today. So it then says that Celtic have trouble ahead. And if he is carrying an injury, why isn't he being shipped back to Celtic? The Japanese media and Japanese fans are having a right go at Celtic. I think that it's fair to say that the love fest that the Japanese fans had for Celtic in any way is diminishing by the day. Having sold Kyogo, having not allowed Dyson to leave the club, and to take their beloved Shin Yamada and just not play him at all. Never mind Inamura. They're saying that, Celtic are a bad club for their players. Tell me what you think in the comments about that. Do you think that Celtic are a bad club for the Japanese players now under the current manager and under the current backroom staff? Because I think that it's let's hide those guys. Just hide them all together. It's like, I don't even want to talk about any of them this week. Some teams think Scotland has an alcohol problem. Yeah, I don't think it has when it comes to football. Do you know, it's was it yesterday, the game? I have no idea. I'm still hungover from yesterday, really. I've no idea if he played. I thought it was today that he played. Yeah, it's today. He plays the Brazil game's today. Tuesday. I'm looking at it on Twitter. J-League in English. Tuesday the 14th of October. Japan national team takes on Brazil in the Kirin Challenge Cup 2025. Scheduled at 7:30. So yeah, I was right. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see whether Dyson does play for them today. So do you think that Scotland... Yeah, let's talk about that. Do you think that Scotland has an alcohol problem when it comes to football? You can buy a pint in the main stand at Celtic Park. You can buy a vodka, you can buy a whiskey, you can buy any alcohol beverage you want. There's certain lounges in there's only the one stand that doesn't have a lounge that Celtic fans can get into because it's full of offices and corporate boxes. When you look just up behind the North Curve Celtic, there are lounges in there in the North Stand that you can buy a pint at half time. Do you know certain fans are allowed to buy drink and alcohol at half time? Is the issue comes back to the 1980s. And the powers that be in Scotland took away the alcohol from Scottish football, as they did in English football at the time, due to football hooliganism. Do you know? And they thought that these men can't trust themselves. Yeah, look at them, they can't. You have to take drink away from them. You cannot drink in a stadium. I don't think you could ever drink in a stadium anyway. I mean, you took your carry out in the olden days. But I don't think that the stadiums were in such good form back in the 1980s where you could go into a bar. I mean, Celtic have a bar that opens in the morning and shuts an hour before kickoff for the normal fans. And I think that's just, it's bizarre. It is bizarre, but that's obviously came in with the licensing that they've got. Does licensing need to change? And would you entertain? There's the poll question for this morning. Yeah, let's do that one. Members only live stream. Schedule your next members only live stream. That's they're trying to get us to do members only lives now to push that. Poll question. You think? Put it on. Do you think you should be able to buy beers in the ground, or just beer? We'll put beer because we don't want it, and we don't want to talk up the overindulgence of alcohol. There's the poll that's just started. There are 100 and odd people on, 116, which is fine. Do you think you should be able to buy beer in the ground at Scottish football? And I'm talking about any stadium. Do you know, it's 2025. We need an adult conversation about this. We need politicians to have adult conversations about it. Cheers, Mark. My dad lifted me in the carry over the turnstile back in the day. I remember going in with a bottle bucket and 4 cans. The thing is, I wish, Anthony, I'm nowhere near that, you cheeky sod. Look, I can remember going in Celtic in various grounds around Scotland with a little quarter bottle or half bottle of vodka. Vody Bovril was introduced during the winter. It was an amazing sensation. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you get your wee Bovril, fill it up with vodka, and the Vody Bovril was born. And that was a big shout out to St. Stictus Paul, who helped introduce that. I think it's football hooliganism at games isn't what it was. I mean, people will go on about the ultra scenes and they go, the kids have their wee fights away from the grounds and such. But I don't think that. There's a thought. Would the over exuberance amount of alcohol help the Celtic fans have a little sing song a bit more at games? Maybe that should be the question. Maybe they should all be given a little. What's your tipple on the way in? Just to get you singing, lads. You know, we want the whole ground singing. Never mind the corner, the 2 corners. I was going to call them the marching powder corners, but I better not. It's Celtic have complained about the amount of little polythene bags that have been collected in certain areas of the ground. But should Celtic fans be able to enjoy a little tipple before the game within the stadium? I mean, Celtic do charge a crazy amount of money. For non-alcoholic drinks within the ground. I mean, they could charge £10 a pint if they wanted to. You know what I mean? And if it was the case that the Scottish government likes a little bit of tax on bevy, it's unbelievable the price of drink in the UK. It's fucking phenomenal, and it's all tax. So the question is, do you think you should be able to buy beer in the ground? 77% say yes, 23% say no. Right, let's jump out. If you go to hospitality, you can drink as much as you like. Yeah, that's the thing. Cup holders on the seats would be a good idea. Is that going too far? The Pope's socks. I'm all for the modernisation of games, but is that the Americanisation? Is that going a step too far? But then we've got the whole Americanisation with television and television kicking us off at 8 o'clock at night. So you could say that the Americanisation of the sport is already complete. You know, it's just the halftime entertainment that needs to ramp up a bit. You know, and get a little bit better singers on at halftime and that. Build a stage and stuff. Give it a half-hour recess, and then they'll end up bringing in quarter-hour breaks and stuff. You don't want that. But yeah, I get that. The cup holders on seats. And if they are trying to... Well, there's the thing. If you are trying to make a family... You have a family section at Celtic Park. You have a family section. And you've got the main stand that used to have the old family section in it there. But let's face it, when you go with the family and you've got your popcorn and your drinks and your hot dogs and you're sitting there and you're like... It's the most uncomfortable experience in the world, because you're sitting on this little plastic seat and you're trying to put your... Where do you put your drink? Do you put your drink in front of you? Do you put it under the seat? You then put it under the seat, and then somebody's spilling stuff from the seat behind you and it's coming all over. Somebody scores a goal, you're fucking up, and there's Coca-Cola going flying all over the floor. And you're thinking, there has to be a better fan experience. And maybe that's where we're going wrong within the sport of football. And maybe that's where if fans... Here's the question to the fans that then... Beyonce performing at half time. Well, it would be. It's not the Super Bowl, Baz. Yeah, I know. Tailgate parties in the car park. I'd love a cup holder in my seat. For my Irish cod latte. My Irish cod latte, is that even a thing? You get Snooper Dog on for half time. That would be interesting. But yeah, I mean, we need to have a serious conversation about it, and where if people are wanting the fan experience to evolve. I just went off on a tangent this morning. This one. If people are wanting the fan dog, if people are wanting the fan experience to evolve, and they're wanting a standing section behind a certain part of Celtic Park, here's a thought there, right? Should that standing section be a smaller section so that the seating areas in other areas of the ground can be expanded to incorporate cup holders, etc., 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 to give the people that want to sit down, to give the people that want to sit on their bum for 90 minutes, enjoy the game and eat their crisps and have their wee Coca-Cola and have their wee cup of tea, have their bovril, but have it in a civilised manner, with a nice little cup holder. Do you know what I mean? That's just a thought. It's just a thought. I mean, if people do... There's a lot of people saying that they want a standing section behind the goal to create atmosphere. Well, take away the corner of 111 and 110, put the seats back in there, put a standing section behind the goals, not one full width of the stadium, because I just don't think that would work, but have a smaller section behind the goals, roughly what they've got behind... so that it allows people that want to go there to stand there. But would it mean a reduction in seats at Celtic Park? But then that brings into the whole talk of then extending the north stand. So you could extend the north stand to get in more seats, but I don't think that football fans would go for the whole laid back chair cinema thing, would they? You know, I remember pissed running down the terraces. Yeah, that's the good old days. If you want fans to go to AC Milan game now, their fans are on form. That's what football should be like, not a library. Yeah. But this is what this is what's causing... It'd be interesting to see how many... I wonder if we have the stats for how many Italian fans watch the game on television compared to go to the game. But anyway, it's an interesting conversation to have on a Tuesday morning. Jay's bad enough go to the toilets and food kiosks at half time. See the ball kicked. Say ball. It stands for hours. Game booze kiosks stay open. But then it could increase the revenue at Celtic, couldn't it? It could increase the revenue, and then there's another thing. If Glasgow City Council are concerned about Celtic fans coming out the ground and then heading to boozers within inside the city, wouldn't the hotel complex at Celtic Park with the bar area in the hotel, and wouldn't the ability to sell drink to fans to keep them in, wouldn't that be a greater? Now Celtic love to go down the whole safety stuff. Wouldn't that be safer rather than having fans walking about the streets? Don't know. You just have them just getting drunk in the ground and then going home. You're fucking Stephen. Last time everyone was pissed, there was a riot. There was a riot. I can say Italian fans are more passionate compared to Scots. Yeah. It's funny when you watch Spanish because they do like a halftime munchie. I mean, they take picnics and stuff. Spanish aren't really big fans of buying from kiosks at the games. They sit and they unravel their tostadas and stuff. But anyway, when we look at a couple of headlines, I see that Benji was on the bench. Benji was on the bench for Sweden as they got beat to Kosovo. Remember when Sweden used to have a really, really good team? And then there's a lot of people talking about Tenecte and that Celtic are ruining the player. Charlie McGraw has expressed his concerns about Tenecte's pattern of play being... I'm not even going to go into that because Charlie McGraw is just... He's all for slating Celtic and slating the current manager, but then being all pals with him. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just going to be a quick live this morning, but we'll be back tonight. I'm going to end up that poll. Do you think you should be able to buy beer in the ground? And there's only been 66 votes. I'll just call it quits there. Let's jump into some of the comments before we leave this morning. Mikey Boy says he always wanted a fan zone at Parkhead, plenty of room to set it up behind the ticket office. I think that the fact that the hotel was meant to go in that area, and that would give you your fan zone. But yeah, I get what you mean. Tottenham have a great beer set up, do they? I would never know. If you want punch ups in the stands, go ahead. There's always one big mouth that kicks off. Due to him being drunk? I mean, it's 2025. I mean, surely people are adult enough that go to football now. I mean, the young team don't drink the way that us older guys used to. I mean, the young team now, they can't take 10 pints because they're too busy snorting stuff up their nose, aren't they? Can we relocate some of the cemetery to expand that way? No. No, you can't do that. Over 40 years since Hampden. Talk about a grudge. Yeah, I know, it is, isn't it? It is over 40 years since Hampden and the riots between... So yeah, I think it's time to move on from it. But Some people don't. Imagine how many would be sleeping at the end of the game. But that's generally not because of the booze. I've done that. I fell asleep at the game once, but I'd been up all night. You've been up at an all-nighter, and then you're sitting 45 minutes in, you're like that. I did that on 1-1-1 day. Oh my god, I got pelters for it. Absolute pelters. I never got to forget about it anyway, put it that way. We pay rent for the air above. This is true, Des. I watched it in documentary. Oops. Spurs' entire stadium is phenomenal, not just for beers. Set up the Bucky Bar. That's what the young team drink. I wouldn't advise that. You should have a Bucky stand. It would save a fortune in cleaning up the bottles, because let's face it, I mean, Celtic have already went on about the fact that there are a lot of Buckfast bottles left within the stadium. Do you know, if they want it, just sell them at Celtic. It's easier. And then you sell them in plastic cups. Remember the fighting that happened in the graveyards? Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Anyway, have a fantastic day. It is Tuesday. We will be back tonight. We will. I'm just reading one of the last comments. We'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Celtic part time to see if there's any good news coming out for Celtic, and to see if Daisen Maeda started for Japan today, because that will tell us if he is fit or not. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic morning, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.